Welcome to We Chat Football, the channel where we chat football, and we're starting off a new show this week. It's gonna be Sunday. Sunday, we're just gonna have a chill, have a chat about everything that's happening in the world of football, everything that's happening around, just regular chat. You guys can join in the comment and go from there and see where we at in terms of football in general, not just Premier League, not just the Champions League, but right around the world. We can talk about any team, not have to be a top six team, not have to be a relegation team. Doesn't even have to be a team that plays in Europe. To be fair, so yeah, we're just gonna kick it with this new format of the show. We were supposed to have some more guests on, but things happen. People have stuff to do, so yeah, that kind of messes up a bunch of stuff in the morning. But hopefully from here it be running pretty smoothly going forward. It's not a watch along. Just to let everybody know, this is not a watch along. I'm not doing a watch along for the FIFA um, Club World Cup. I'm not doing a watch along for that. I am just doing a what do you call hey Danaka. I'm not doing a watch along. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the game going right now, which is the Bayern Munich match. I'm just trying to see if I can get that on, but the zone is acting up. Okay, watch it now. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get that on so I can watch that too. And I can't stay for long either. That's why I'm putting on the show so early in the morning before everybody wakes up, and then I'm gonna be out of here soon as well. So yeah. I know the feeling, man. Bless up for joining. Um My thing though is this: I just looked at the Club World Cup, just realizing that it's going to be finishing on July 13th, and the Premier League season is going to start August 16th, which means that there's going to be a lot of burnout for the teams that's going into the next season. So pretty much um, every team that's playing here right now in this Club World Cup going into next season, they're going to have a month to prepare for preseason. No rest, nothing. They're just going to be going from the Club World Cup straight into the season next season. And it's going to be like a month in between preparation. My thing on that is that this is going to be a full on burnout. And this kind of put City for me, which I think would have been one of the favorites to win the league, which is either they're going to start strong and fade in the end because it's going to be too much football that they played over the last couple of months, or it's going to be one of them where they start slow. And if somebody push too far ahead, then they're going to be in a top four race again for next season. Yeah, just having my coffee. I'm just thinking that this is um, more of a what I call over fatigue of football of playing. No, Liverpool are not in the Club World Cup, and I did a video a couple months ago, which I'm like kind of happy that they're not in the Club World Cup because I just feel like the Club World Cup is more of a cash grab more than anything else. So they're not in the Club World Cup at the moment. But to have 1 month in between when this tournament finish to when the season starts in England is kind of crazy. Right now, to my for me personally, it's kind of crazy. Whether the English league is going to start later, no, because we know how the FA is. The FA, whatever the FA decide to do, they just decide to go ahead with that. So we're going to see teams again this season that's going to be breaking in the top four if they have a good start to the season. Teams that haven't gone to the Club World Cup. So I believe like the likes of Chelsea is in here from England, and Manchester City is also in here from England. And for the rest of the teams in Europe, their league starts a little bit later in August, closer to September. So they will have a little bit of time to rest for preseason. I don't know if any of these teams are going to be doing any more preseason games. I don't think Chelsea is going to be doing any more preseason game. I don't know if City is going to be doing any more preseason game. So it's going to be just light training, I think, getting the guys in shape for the season. I feel like the first 2 months of the season is going to be what they're going to use as preseason, the first month, the first 2 months, which is going to be crazy. Because if you're going to use that for the preseason, mean that at any moment, by the time you start to get into the groove of the season, by the time you start to push, that's it. It's done. Your top four race is gone. You're maybe too far off top four, maybe too far off the title. So yeah, it's a tough one for the teams that are playing the Club World Cup. I just look at it and thinking that the time that it ends and the time that the season starts, it's just too close. It's a lot. It's just way too close. Yeah, big up, man. Big up for jumping on. Big up. We'll catch you next week. It's gonna be every week, so we'll catch you next week on the show. Yeah. So it's gonna be one of them from time to time where you look and be like, yeah, I know, man. I hope to get you on one of these shows as well because you always been here supporting. So maybe one of these shows you can just jump on and we have a chat as well. Yeah. So back to what I was saying, it's like there is just too much games going in, too much games playing. From my perspective, I believe that the expansion of the Club World Cup was great. Get more teams in, more of a how should I put it? More of a competition base closer to the World Cup. But 32 teams is, I believe, is just too much. Don't get me wrong, 32 teams is a little bit too much. I think what it should have been is like the coefficient ranking. I know what they're saying about the coefficient ranking and all that kind of stuff, but too many teams from Europe is inside the competition. For my liking, a few of the American teams got buy-in rather than qualifying in the correct way. Seattle is in, and I don't think Seattle has been one of the best teams in the MLS to represent the MLS over the past couple of seasons. And then you have Inter Miami that's in, which again, as I said, if anybody's been watching the MLS this season, you wouldn't be surprised of the game that Inter Miami played yesterday against Al Ali, where Al Ali should have been 3 or 4 goals up in the first half. And that is a solid game of two halves that game yesterday, which for me was fun. It was really fun yesterday. We see some real good build up from Al Ali with poor finishing. We also turn around and see some good display from Inter Miami in the second half of the game, and Al Ali got the chance to win it right at the end, but bad play from most of the guys that most of the guys that's there. Yeah, I think the occasion got to them. Me personally, I think the occasion got to the Al Ali guys, and that's why they just saw the headlines and just didn't want to play the correct ball and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, they do filter teams. It's about teams that can generate revenue. And again, it's a first competition, so I fully understand that why they do it that way. You have to get Messi in the tournament, and I think they thought that Cristiano Ronaldo team would have won the Asian Champions League, which would have had a Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi playing in the first Club World Cup, but that didn't happen. We also look at it and look at the fact that Man City is in, Bayern Munich is in, Real Madrid is in, and Real Madrid is always going to be invited to be in. Um, it's a good tournament. It's a good lineup. Personally, I would love to go and see a few games. Just the timing is just not working out for me. I would love to go and see a few games, but if I look at it from a fan of a team that plays in Europe, not just around the rest of the world, like I played in Europe in the Premier League. If Liverpool was in this tournament, I would be pretty much writing off Liverpool chances of winning the league next season if they're playing in this tournament. And the fact is that by the time Liverpool plays, and if they make it all the way to the final is going to be on July 13th. The Premier League start on August 16th. So where does the players get the rest in between the Premier League finishing? This finishing and the Premier League starting. It's like a month and stuff. Heard that. Heard they say Barcelona hasn't been the second best team in Spain in the past 4 years now. First in the past 4 years. How? It's not about the team in your league. It's about your coefficient ranking in Europe. And due to the fact that the last couple of seasons, Barcelona has been really bad in Europe, like really, really bad in Europe, playing in the Europa League and all that kind of stuff. That is the reason why. It's a Champions League coefficient ranking. So I understand why clubs like Liverpool isn't there. I understand why other teams isn't there, and I understand why Chelsea is there. Chelsea is there because the cutoff point of the Champions League, Chelsea won it. So when they cut off that, the cutoff point where the Champions League is for qualification, Chelsea is the last winner of that, because Chelsea win it after Liverpool won it. So therefore, that's where the cutoff point is. Manchester City as well. Bayern Munich coefficient, they're always there. They're always making it deep in the competition. Porto coefficient as well. It was a toss-up between Leipzig and BVB, Borussia Dortmund. So it was a toss-up between them, but the coefficient goes in the favor of Borussia Dortmund. So the qualification for the Club World Cup was something that we've been looking into before the Club World Cup started. Because go back to a couple of videos that I did like a couple of months ago about the Club World Cup, which nobody seemed to be interested in at the time, when I was asking, like, is this gonna hurt like football going forward? And it depending on how regularly this tournament is this tournament gonna be every year? Is it gonna be every 2 year? Is it gonna be every 3 year? Or is it gonna be every 4 years? If it's every 2 years, then teams that win Champions Leagues have to develop a really, really big squad going into this tournament. And this tournament, I don't think you can say a 25-man squad going into this tournament. You might need a bigger squad going into the tournament if you want to think about it. And then there will be a lot of upsets in this tournament. So this tournament is going to be exciting because, and this is just me not talking from the positive of the tournament. The tournament is going to be an exciting tournament if that's the case, because then teams will have to rest their stars and not overplay them in these tournaments. So when they are playing against like a weaker team, for example, they're going to put up more of the fringe players, more of the academy players going into this tournament, which again, for the person who's going to pay to see a star. For example, if you're going today and you're going to watch Bayern Munich play and you want to see Harry Kane and you want to see all that kind of stuff, but they're looking at the games that in the tournament and they want to rest Harry Kane, there's a high possibility that Harry Kane doesn't play today due to the fact that the league is going to be starting back up with the new format of the Champions League as well. Let's not forget the new format of the Champions League is a league format where 1 or 2 losses could see you in the playoffs. 1 or 2 losses could see you completely out of the Champions League. So there's another prospect there as well, where starting a season badly could mean that you have extra games to play throughout the course of the season. So yeah, there is that. So for the fan who's gonna go pay the money, who haven't seen these players play because they can't They don't have the money to travel to Europe. They don't have the money to do the stadiums in Europe, and they want to go out to see these guys play. Might show up to a game today expecting, I'm like a Bayern Munich fan, expecting to see a Harry Kane, expecting to see a lot of their stars, and they might not play due to the fact that they have to manage minutes, they have to manage all of that stuff coming up for the next season. So that is another problem that this could face, where you could see a lot of upsets as well. You could see where a weaker nation, because they're pushing harder, could go up against one of these teams and cause an upset. And it's not an upset because that team is actually good. It's an upset because a team in Europe, again, that has more to play for throughout the course of a season is going to rotate. And we want to rotate and want to make sure that the players that they have on the field are actual, like, they're not going to have a bad start to the season. And I called this like a couple months ago. I'm like, this tournament might end up being like something of a watered down version. The stars are there, but most of the stars are there for maybe for the knockout. Yes, we see in Messi with Inter Miami yesterday, but we're in the middle of the MLS season, like smack in the middle of the MLS season. So yeah, for Messi, he's still in the season. Where you're looking at again the teams from Europe, and I'm talking because I'm a Liverpool fan, and I'm not talking bitter because Liverpool didn't qualify for the tournament. I'm actually enjoying. I enjoy the first game, looking forward to the second game. But it's just looking at the time that the competition ends to when the time the league starts. And right after the league starts, you're looking at, say, the league starts in August. And we all know with the Prem, you drop 4 games at the start of the Premier League, you're playing catch up from now to the rest of the season. And then right in September, you're looking at the Champions League coming up. So now in September, you have 2 games a week. And then you have the League Cup coming up. And you have the FA Cup coming up after that with the Champions League. So as a Premier League team, where do you get your rest with 1 month? It's just between 1 month to the end of this tournament to when the league starts. And that's crazy. So let's see. Maybe City won't go on a preseason tour. Maybe that will be the case. So no preseason for City. Maybe um, other clubs might cut down on preseason. So this might put a lot of the preseason tours like in jeopardy again for a club that, I mean, for us who's on this side of the pond. And yes, as you can see, it's daytime, early morning for us. Us on the side of the pond, we are happy to have this. Personally, the closest game to me is the one in Seattle. And for me to go to Seattle, it's a 2 hour drive there, 2 hour drive back. And trust me, I was thinking about it. The tickets went down, so I could get tickets for like $100. And I was genuinely thinking about making the drive 2 hours from here, go to Seattle to watch a game, and drive 2 hours back. Because again, we don't get this on this side of the pond. So when it does show up, when it does get close to us, yes, we'll go. We'll watch it. I know in Europe it's a bit different. You guys get to see these guys on a regular. You guys get to go to Champions League games. You guys get to go to league games, cup games, all these different type of games. But for us on this side of the pond where we don't get this, we look forward to preseasons because this is where we can actually get to see a lot of the players that we support from a distance. So the Club World Cup coming here, it is a positive for, I would say, the the fans on this side of the world. However, it is also a negative for the club that you support because you know that going into the next season, it's gonna be difficult because you can't treat this, even though they might treat this as some team in Europe as a glorified preseason. But you show up, you get knocked out, it looks bad as well. So yeah, it's one of those where I'm actually looking forward to this. Again, as I said, I am enjoying the tournament so far. I enjoyed the game between Inter Miami and Al Ahly yesterday. I think it was a fun game. It was a bit frustrating for me because I wanted Al Ahly to win. Um, that's just it. I just wanted to see the African team win, but it was a bit, and I will say this again, it was a little bit disappointed with the finishing, not just from one side, but from both sides. And the referee, I think, in that game, he tried to let the game play. He tried to allow the game to flow. Made some bad calls. I think Inter Miami should have been down to 10 with that horrendous tackle that he let go. But again, nobody will talk about that again. It's the first year of this Club World Cup. It's not going to be one of them that everybody will be talking about much. But I think going forward, this teams will prepare better for this. Um, I think the competition might start a bit earlier. Again, going forward, and for me, already, this is better than the previous version of the Club World Cup. Because the previous version of the Club World Cup, let's be honest, that was in December. That was in the middle of the season for Europe, and teams had to cut their season short, fly out to these spots to go play the Club World Cup, to come back to continue their season. So that was another thing with the previous version of the Club World Cup. So I think FIFA is just trying to find a better way of doing it. But I do believe that 32 teams is a little bit too much for the Club World Cup, in my opinion. It's just a little bit too much for the Club World Cup. So yeah. What else? What else is there? The starting lineup is out. Let me just check. Because again, as I said, this isn't a watch along. The game is just on during the time that I am doing I am doing this. But I'm gonna go watch a game after and and stuff. Let me just see here what the starting lineup looks like, because that got out as well. That score. See who is on the lineup. Okay, so Hurricane start. So yeah, Bayern start with a strong team this game. So they have Nirin goal, Boita, which is a new signing. They got him in time for that, so that's good. Stanisic, Guerrero, Kimmich, um, Palvovic, Olise, Muller, Koman, and Kane up front. And the odds and the 5-4-1 is for Auckland FC. They're going with a 5-4-1 formation. So we'll see. I think they're going to push this where it might be Bayern Munich maybe slap five before halftime, and then they just make mass substitution. Sorry guys, just replying to a message. Yeah, I think it could be the point where Bayern Munich just maybe slap three or four past Auckland FC really early, just put the game to bed. Once the game is done and dusted, then they just make substitution, take these guys off, get some guys some run out and stuff. They might be treating it like a preseason a lot of these games, but yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, man, I think Bayern Munich could be up five by halftime. It, and it's not out of the realm to think Bayern Munich might be up five by halftime. And Mister, I love to score when it doesn't matter, hit like a hat trick as well. So yeah, it could be one of those. It could be one of those games where it could be overdone and wrapped up with by that time. No, no, I'm giving Auckland the respect that it's not 10. Come on, no, we're talking about Bayern Munich here. If you look at the quality of players on both teams, it's night and day. Auckland is just gonna be there and hopefully not to get like smashed all over the park. Where Bayern Munich is just gonna try to put this game to bed early as possible. So that is the respect that they're getting, is that it could be over really, really quickly. And I'm just being honest, it could be over really quickly. What would make the game fully exciting for me, though, is if Auckland could score first. And as much as it maybe think it's a hate along our stuff, but if Auckland could get that first goal in, this will make the game really interesting because there's more jeopardy on the line, there's more to play for, and all that kind of stuff. And that's all we need. We need to see more jeopardy on the line and stuff. But if Auckland could get a goal in early, then that would be nice. But we don't see that happening. Let's be honest. All we're seeing is that there's gonna be Bayern Munich maybe running riot in this game and just try to smash the Auckland out really early, get this game over with, rest some players, restart again, and move on to the next game, because the next game might be a tougher game because they're trying to wrap this up too before they play the other tough team in the group. And let's see who is in like this group C. So region Club World Cup. Yeah, so Bayern Munich have, yeah, exactly. So they have Boca Juniors and Benfica in their group. Yeah, trust me, they are going to need to be rested for that, because Boca Juniors and Benfica isn't going to be a walk in the park for Bayern Munich for the rest of this. This is a tough group. Okay, let's pay attention to this group right here. This is a massive group right here with Boca Juniors and Benfica in this group. Yeah, so yeah, this is not going to be a walkover, man. This is a tough group for Bayern Munich. Now I understand why they're gonna go the way that they're going. It's so yeah, it's not about respect for Auckland. It's about the fact that, to quote the great Don Robbie, it's bigger fish to fry. So they need to get these players rested and all that kind of stuff like real quickly, and head back out and head into the next game, knowing that again there's fresh legs, and also they have to be thinking about the season coming up um, as well. So they have to be thinking about next season. They can't be going into next season drained or anything like that. Chelsea got an easy group. Who's in Chelsea group? Group C, Club World Cup. All right, how do I change this? Group B. Oh yeah, and then there's some tough groups, because then there's Botafogo, that's in the Paris and Atletico group. That's today. Da-da. That's next stage. Sorry, just trying to see if I can. Oh, they're in Group D. Okay, thanks. Group D. Let's see if I can get to Group D quickly and see what Group D looks like. Yeah, yeah. LAFC is bad this season. Like, yeah, yeah. They're definitely in an easier group. LAFC is like really bad this season. To be fair, because it's like when you look at the MLS this season, you have the Whitecaps running away with it at the top of the league, with not really running away, but they're fighting off at the top of the league with, I think, Philly, which is kind of surprised because it's like two teams that nobody expected at the start of the season to be top of the MLS. So yeah, and you have the likes of The likes of the LAFC is mid table. LA Galaxy as well is bottom of the MLS. That for me is crazy. And Inter Miami is at mid table if you're looking at the overall table of the MLS. So yeah, Inter Miami is sitting at 10th in the overall table. LAFC is sitting at 13th in the overall table. LA Galaxy is bottom in the overall table, and you have Philly and Vancouver, who is at the top. Yeah, and then San Diego followed. Yeah, it's MLS is a weird one. And last season, Inter Miami was really good. This season, they're a bit shaky this season, and so yeah. But yeah, that's an easy group for Chelsea though. That group D is very easy for Chelsea. So the, Chelsea should be able to do that. Marco Royce ain't doing bits. I mean, Marco Royce, I think, came over to the MLS to retire, bro. I don't think nobody come over here to do bits. He come over here to retire. The only difference is, that you have the likes of Messi, who he's a competitor. Luis Suarez, competitor. Like these guys are competitors. So because they're competitors, then they're gonna push to the limit every single game. But yeah, it's an easy one for Chelsea. I didn't know that that their group was that easy. Let's look at some more groups. FIFA Club World Cup. Let's look at some more groups. Yeah, because I definitely wanted to do the game in Seattle today. It's what will be 7 my time, and then do a quick vlog down and stuff. But Father's Day can't do that on Father's Day. It's gonna cost a lot to take the whole family to watch a game and back. So Group A is Al Ahly, Inter Miami, Porto, and Palmeiras. This is the weakest group, I would say. Right off the bat, that is the weakest group. Is Group A. Um, it's a toss up between everybody in that group. I think the two strongest team out of that group is Palmeiras and Porto. Those are the two strongest out of that group. And when I say it's the weakest group, is that on paper Porto should qualify out of this group, no problem. Like they should just qualify out of this, no problem. And it's a toss up for the other three to get out of this group. Um, the PSG, Atletico, Botafogo, and Seattle Sounders. Okay, so this group we know for a fact that is going to be the two European teams favorites to get out of this group. Right off the bat, the two European teams going to be favorites to hop out. Not a problem. The other group is Borussia. Sorry, Bayern Munich, Auckland FC, Boca Juniors, Benfica. You're looking at that as well, and you're looking at Bayern Munich and Benfica to be popping out of that group as well. I wouldn't say Group B is the strongest because again they have Sounders in there, and I mean we watch MLS. It's not the strongest. The two European powerhouses just gonna blow through Group B. I don't see that as a strong group. I just look at the two European teams, and they're just gonna jump through. Um, Group D, see Flamingo, Esperance, Chelsea, and LAFC, where we're looking at that too, and soon get to the intergroup. We're looking at that too, and we're looking at Chelsea coming out, and Flamengo should qualify out of that because those are the teams I know. I don't know about the Experience, that team. I don't know about that team, but again, I'm always up to watch these teams. And again, this kind of give me a throwback of before football became so globalized. that we're now watching teams play that we would never watch in just sit and watch. We just never sit and watch them. Like I watched Al Ali yesterday, and I was so impressed with the way that they play. Like 100% so impressed. And I would never watch the Egyptian league or the um the South African Champions League or whatever they call it over there. I wouldn't sit and watch that because again, I don't have the time to consume so much football in a whole week. But again, it brings this up. This reminds me of like back in the day what the World Cup used to do before everything becomes so globalized. It's like it would just bring something different to you to see. You would be able to see stars. You'll be able to see players that you would never normally see, and that's kind of what this kind of brings up. So again, as I said, bit excited about it. Happy that Liverpool is in it because I want to do back to back, and I feel like with no preseason, no rest for the players, it's like an overwork of the players. So yeah, that's something that we take a chance at. Group E, we're looking at River Plate, um, Red Diamonds, Monterrey, and Inter Milan. Ooh, this again, Inter Milan favorites to get out of this. They're favorites to get out, but also everybody else that's inside that group is going to be it's going to be a tough one. The game that I'm looking forward to the most in this group though is Monterrey and River Plate. The Mexican team and the Argentine team. That's going to be a spicy game. I know for a fact that's going to be spicy. Um, the group F is Fluminense, Borussia Dortmund, Ulsan, and Sundowns FC from South Africa. Come on now. Let's let me cheer on my South African team, man. Come on. Yeah, I'm not South African, by the way. I'm Jamaican. We're not. I don't think we're ever gonna have a team in the Club World Cup. But anyways, I just watched the Sundown FC documentary, and they look good. But it would be nice to see like a teams from the African continent make it through the knockout round, make it deep inside these competition, like stronger against stronger teams. Yes. Sundown is Sundown to surprise. Yeah, my money's on Sundown and stuff. Yeah, so that's Group F. And if we go over to Group G, where we see Manchester City, Wydad FC, Al Ain FC, and Juventus. So right off the bat, you're looking at it and being like, City, Juventus should qualify if you're looking right, like going there. So City, Juventus should automatically get out of that, and that should be done and dusted right there. And then you have And there you have, I'm living in Vancouver. So I'm based in Vancouver at the moment. So that's where I live. So then you have Real Madrid and Al Hilal, Pachuca, and Salzburg. This, for me, is one of the most interesting groups right at this moment. With the Real Madrid is supposed to be straight off the bat easy to get out. The interesting part about this is the other three teams in the group, where Al Hilal has some superb firepower going forward. But again, we're talking about Pachuca, these and Salzburg. I know we're putting it in Europe, and a lot of people think like the European teams are a lot better, but I believe that Salzburg might struggle in this group. Out of all the teams that are in this group, in Group H, I think Salzburg might struggle the most out of this group so far. Comment says, easy group for the big boys. Again, to be fair, and I'm just going to say this right now, for every single big team that's in Europe, every group is going to be easy for them because the quality of players that those teams have compared to the rest of the world outside of the Saudi Pro League, it's going to be easy. That's right down there. It's hard to say that they're going to have a hard group. The only time they would have a hard group is that if they put three European teams in one group. So technically, most of them should qualify. It's the teams that are outside of the top five leagues in Europe, when they get outside of Europe, like playing against other teams from around the world, the games will become a little bit more competitive. It won't be a blowout, it will be more competitive, and a little bit more competitive game mean that there could be an upset. So that's just where that lies. Where again, other teams across the world have quality. So if you look in the Argentine league, if you're talking about the likes of River Plate, Boca Juniors, the Brazilian league, where their talent pool in that league is better for young talent. So when they come up against teams like that's outside the top five leagues in Europe, it will be more competitive. But when you're talking about any of the teams that are in the top five leagues that are making it to Champions League knockout rounds, making it to Champions League semifinals, yeah, they'll just blow 90% of the teams across the world out of the park, like easily blow them out of the park and make it a little bit easy. So yeah, my perspective of this Club World Cup, which is I guess which becomes the main point of the Sunday morning chill, because to be fair, I don't come into these shows with topics. I just come in and just whatever is happening, we just talk about. Is that it is good for the upcoming for the lower nations in football. This is really good for them. And when I say good, as in it's bringing them more exposure. So a lot of the players, again, from some of these teams, will capture the eyes in Europe. I know there were scouts, I know there was that, but they will also capture the lights in Europe. They will also get transfers. It's again, this tournament is bringing the surprise package that the World Cup used to bring, like back in the day. Like for example, like my first introduction to World Cup was 94 World Cup, USA 94. That was my first introduction to football, was 94 World Cup. Then by the time it hit 98 World Cup, where Jamaica qualified for the World Cup, it was massive. And there was a football fever. And then you start seeing different players like from different countries, and you start introducing seeing different stars and stuff like that you would not see like across watching the Champions League, watching different leagues in Europe. And then you have like the South African World Cup, the South Africa World Cup, where South Africa took that World Cup by storm, and it was just a fever pitch and all good. No, I believe like with the internet and the whole global community, we don't get to see um, this kind of stuff happening a lot, because most of the players that are stars for a lot of these countries are playing in Europe, whether it's in one of the top five leagues or one of the leagues that are outside of the top five. They're do playing in Europe, and you would see or hear about them here and there. Where when this Club World Cup is around now, we're seeing now teams and clubs that, let's be honest, none of us would ever watch, and that's a good thing for me for the Club World Cup, which I'm excited about, is to watch some of these clubs, see where they are, see where football is around the world, because then you're gonna have, again, as I said, the teams that are playing in the top five leagues that are strong, put them to the side, watch some of the games with the teams that are not so known, and then see where the competition is, because we see the competition between Miami FC and Al Ahly yesterday, and it was a good competition. The quality wasn't of a Champions League quality game, but again, you get to compare what the Egyptian league is, the best the Egyptian league has to offer, and what the best the MLS has to offer. Again, for the MLS, the best for the MLS, because I watch the MLS a lot from where I am, the best of the MLS changes every season. Every season there is a different team that is better due to the draft system that is similar to the draft system that goes with the NBA and football and stuff. Due to that kind of draft system, it's better. Whitecaps is having a good season, but yesterday one of the best Whitecaps players, the start of the season, was at Inter Miami, coming off the bench. He almost scored, which is Fafa, which for me personally was one of our best players last season for the Whitecaps. And this is how the MLS works. Whitecaps is a smaller team. Soon as a player is playing good, take him out of that and move him to a different team because the players in the MLS are not owned by the clubs. The players in the MLS are owned by the MLS. So that's just a different structure of how the MLS works. So for me personally, the to see where Al Ahly is compared to where the MLS is, you start realizing that, okay, maybe American football isn't as far back as people make it out in some areas of the world. But at the end of the day, you look on the flip side of that and being like, maybe it's not as great as how some people make it out. I know Inter Miami has a global fan base right now due to Messi playing for Inter Miami. But if you take Messi out of Inter Miami is one of the worst teams in the MLS. If you just take Messi out of that team, because anytime Messi doesn't play for Inter Miami, they get slapped on a regular basis without Messi, and the stats of that will show. So yeah, that's just the difference with it. But I'm actually looking forward to some of these weaker nations playing each other and just see where it goes. Because for me, that's where the excitement is. The excitement is, just for me personally, is to see teams that I've never seen before playing against each other, clubs, different countries, to see where the development of those countries are when it comes down to playing, when it comes down to um, like from the competitive side of the game. The European teams, I understand, as I said earlier, I think Bayern Munich is going to be up 5-0 against Auckland FC before halftime and maybe rest some stars going into the rest of the game. But okay, then the next game after that is going to be a real spicy one to see Benfica playing against Boca Juniors, because I want to see how far is the Portuguese league off the Argentine league. Can Boca Juniors beat Benfica? And if that happens, then that would open up the world eyes and be like, hold up a second here. Is it that a lot of these smaller European clubs, like nations, is not much better than the South American teams? And that's kind of what I'm looking for, is a lot of these smaller teams playing. And when I say smaller, I'm not talking about smaller as in name, because Boca Juniors is massive. Name-wise, it's massive. But when you compare Boca Juniors to a Bayern Munich, then they're two different levels, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And it's really exciting for me, the Club World Cup. Actually wanted to go see a game. We'll figure out how that works, but the time that the games play in Seattle and the time that it will take me to get there and back and then have to go to work the next day is crazy. I'm looking, if there's a Saturday game playing in Seattle, then sure, I'll head down and watch it. But on a Sunday, driving 2 hours to Seattle, watching a game for 2 hours, and then driving 2 hours back from Seattle to work the next morning, that's kind of crazy. But we'll see. Might end up doing a vlog for that and stuff. But yeah. All right. It's the first show. I'm gonna get ready, gonna eat some breakfast right now. The sun is out, might go enjoy the sun throughout the course of the day while watching some more games. And again, catch you next week, guys, at the same time. Remember, if you're new to the channel, like the video. The like helps. We have like 5 people, 1 like. Come on, just like the video so this can share out. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to get to 250 subscribers. Small channel, we're growing. And this is Sunday Morning Chill. All right, catch you on the other one. All right, peace.